We are in front of the Supreme Court right now, and we are witnessing a type of anti-March for Life.
Our body, our choice. Our body, our choice. Our body, our choice.
The pro-abortion movement is frantic because the Supreme Court might finally reverse Roe v. Wade.
Vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out.
Protesting a possible reversal, thousands of abortion advocates gathered in Washington, D.C. on May 14th. Vulgar signs, rainbow flags, and feminist slogans were on display. There were a number of pro-lifers that showed up to defend the unborn.
Let their hearts beat. Let their hearts beat. Let their hearts beat. Let their hearts beat.
Battle of the sexes. By aborting motherhood and putting mom in her place, the kitchen, unable to escape. Let women's hearts beat. Let women's brains choose. Let women's hearts beat. Let women's brains choose. C-R-I-T-E. To find a worthy mate if she wants one, if she thinks it's safe, if she thinks the world's not populated by a bunch of...
You cannot force someone to donate a kidney. So what the makes you think you can force someone to donate a uterus? You. You.
Abortion is violence. Abortion is oppression. Abortion is violence. Abortion is oppression. Abortion is violence.
You guys are with TFP Student Action, right? I watch you guys. You guys are awesome. Seriously. I always wanted to meet you. I've been watching you guys for like 3 years now. You guys are the reason why I got involved, with Students for Life. And are you guys recording for a new video? Oh my gosh.
I was speaking to some pro-abortion people, and I asked them, where did the so-called right to abortion come from? Who invented this right to kill an innocent child? And they couldn't say.
Mother. My mother got an abortion when she was 19. You hate my mother. She's admiral in the Coast Guard. And you know why? Because she was free to get an abortion.
How long have you been fighting for abortion?
Well, I've been fighting for reproductive rights since the 80s when I was in college, actually back in high school even. Because it's about control over our own destiny. I don't believe you should force someone to be a parent. I mean, I'm a mother. It's a lot of work, but I chose to be a mother. It wasn't something forced on me, and I did it when the time was right for me.
Reproductive rights are really important because as women, our entire lives revolve around whether we're able to make that choice or not for ourselves.
I noticed a lot of signs, they say keep abortion safe and legal. What would you say is a safe abortion?
A safe abortion is one conducted by a trained medical physician in a clean and safe environment.
Can you describe an abortion to me?
You know what, I'm not a clinical physician. I'm not a trained physician, so I can't do that, but I know that it's a necessary procedure and it needs to be kept safe.
The right-wing media, they're here to...
Oh, I know they're right-wing.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Be careful, they're going to slander everything you say.
I'm not saying much anyway.
Now, 6 of the 9 Supreme Court justices are Catholic. Do you think that Catholicism or the fact that they're Catholic is a problem?
I think that they are using theological points to make political decisions, and I think that's a problem.
Do you think that's swaying the court in any way?
Yes, I do. But there are lots of Catholics that are also pro-choice.
We should have separation of church and state in this country. And so if their religion is bringing them to ignore scientific evidence and reason about what is right for people in this country, then that is a problem.
I have no issue with Catholicism or Catholics or the Catholic Church. I am myself a Jew of faith, and my religion is very important to me. My issue is with the imposition of Catholic teachings on a nation which we believe should be free of any one religion writing the law.
Even if you look back into our heritage, you know, there are landmarks and displays that affirm the Ten Commandments, like the Supreme Court displays the Ten Commandments, which many would argue that it's not right. We should keep church and state separate. But do you believe that the display of the Ten Commandments should be removed from the Supreme Court?
Well, I'm a scientific woman. I believe that things should be based on fact and not on anyone's religion. I believe that evidence should prove things and not a comment from any religion.
Scientifically, when does life begin?
I think that's very questionable. And I think that's up to the individual person to decide when life begins.
Does science have an answer on that, or are they still studying?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
Do you think the Supreme Court justices should take into account the Ten Commandments at all?
Not really, because again, that's a theological point, and I think they need to divorce themselves from religious constructs, because we're supposed to be free from someone's religious views impacting our day-to-day life.
Do you think the Ten Commandments have any role at the Supreme Court?
No, I don't. I mean, they're there to interpret the laws that are passed by Congress or that come up through lower courts. That is their job.
Why shouldn't they also follow Muslim tenets? Or why shouldn't they also follow satanic tenets? Or why shouldn't they also follow Buddhist tenets?
You know what, so as I said, I'm a Jew, and the Ten Commandments are very, very important to me because they are a part of my faith. But as an American, I recognize that they are not a part of everyone's faith.
You know, a short answer, do you think the Ten Commandments should be removed from the Supreme Court?
You know what?
Unfortunately, I actually think that they do, because there is separation of church and state.
I think it's an interesting answer. I think it's an interesting question. I think while, I know that certainly my religion does in some ways guide my politic and guide how I think, my advocacy here and my advocacy of all. And I understand that for those Christians who sit on the court, and for those Jews who sit on the court, it may be very important to them. So I'm not actually sure.
Jesus loves you. I'm so happy your mothers didn't abort you. You are beautiful. You are beautiful. I love you. I want to see all y'all in heaven. Have a good day.
We will. Maybe you won't.
Do you think those Ten Commandments should be removed from the building?
No, not at all. This is what America was built on. Our forefathers and foremothers made a covenant with God, and God has honored that covenant, and that's why America has been so blessed. But let me tell you, there's coming a day when the wrath of God is going to come down on America, because we have so much blood on our hands. And number one, those abortions.
Some people have been talking that this might lead to a new type of civil war within our country. Do you think that's the case?
You know, I think in some ways we're already at a civil war. I mean, you had a president who was spewing forth lies, and it really has divided the country. I mean, I have a lot of friends that I've lost who are Trump supporters, who are good people.
Movements like this are going to continue to grow. There's going to continue to be a lot of unrest because this is so important to so many people. And the majority of Americans support Roe v. Wade.
Would you say that an unwanted pregnancy and a wanted pregnancy, are those distinct, or are they the same? Like, is the life of the child, if it's wanted or unwanted, different, or is it a human being?
One of the fundamental parts, going back to the liberal philosophers of the 19th and 18th centuries, is the idea that bodily autonomy is incredibly important to a free and fair society and to democracy. And if we're going to deny bodily autonomy based on someone's religious belief when religion begins, then we have failed as a free and fair society.
Do you think there's a distinction between an unwanted baby and a wanted baby?
You know, I'm done with this conversation. I gotta go do stuff to do. I don't really want to. This is not how I want to be using my time here.
You're probably familiar or heard about churches being vandalized, and in one church, the Blessed Sacrament was stolen in Texas. What do you think about that?
Well, one of the chants that they have over here is, "Get your rosaries off our ovaries." That's how they view religion. They don't want anything to do with Christ. They don't want anything to do with it, and they see it as just like any other Marxist institution, any other communist group. They see religion as the epitome of anti-progress.
Where do your rights come from?
God.
And is there such a thing as a right to abortion?
I'm glad your mom didn't abort you. I'm glad she didn't. You are handsome.
There's two different kinds of rights. There is positive rights and there are negative rights. Negative rights, like freedom of speech. Every person has the right to say whatever they want. Self-defense, anything like that. That is.
Or the right to life. You know,
right to life.
you cannot negative not kill somebody else.
Yes, that's absolutely. It's a negative right. So you cannot kill somebody else. It's keeping you from doing something. A positive right is what the left pro-murder crowd is wanting to do. They want autonomy for women. That's a positive right. They want to be able to murder their children.
The other side is using a term called abortion justice. What do you understand by abortion justice?
It's just a lot of language, you know. It's avoiding what this issue is really about. They're afraid to address that, yes, this is a life ending. You know, you use words like justice, freedom, rights. We can do the same thing, you know, the unborn child. They have justice, freedom, rights, all that too, you know.
But where does that come from? Where do your rights come from?
Well, according to the Constitution, you have inalienable rights. So as being born in the United States, you have certain rights determined by the Constitution.
Does the right to life figure into the equation?
I think that the right to life does figure into the equation, but then you have to determine what is the definition of life. And so that's why we're here.
When does life begin scientifically? Is there a consensus?
There is not a consensus, I don't believe.
Those who claim there is a right to kill the innocent want more than abortion on demand. They want a world without God, a culture without grace, and a society without truth. This was made evident by the overtly blasphemous signs they carried. At the Supreme Court, the pro-abortion chant became more direct. We will not obey.
We will not obey. We will not obey. We will not obey. We will not obey.
The chant resembled Lucifer's cry of revolt against God. I will not serve. Let us, therefore, repeat St. Michael's victorious battle cry, who is like unto God. We will serve, and no matter what, will continue fighting the good fight against abortion. God bless.